Hare Krishna, everyone. Omajnanathimirandaस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Today is the last part of this book reading session. This has also been rejected by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who advocated worship in separation. As stated before, the pure devotee does not even want liberation. He simply asks to remain Krishna's devotee birth after birth. As we saw, I न धनं न जनं न सुंदरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद भक्तिर अहैतुकी त्वयि. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prays that I do not want great followers, I do not want great wealth, I do not want beautiful wife, na dhanam, na janam, I don't want aristocratic birth, none of these material things. But I want birth after birth, unalloyed devotion unto you. So birth after birth, when I ask for unalloyed devotion, that means I do not want liberation. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prayer. And the words birth after birth indicate that there is no liberation. This means that the devotee doesn't care whether he is liberated or not. He simply wants to engage in Krishna consciousness, to serve the Supreme Lord. Always wanting to engage in God's transcendental loving service is the symptom of pure devotion. Of course, wherever a devotee is, he remains in the spiritual kingdom, even though in the material world, material body. On this part, he does not demand any of the five types of liberation, nor anything for his personal superiority or comfort. Right? So there are five kinds of liberation. Sayujya, Samipya, Sarupya, Salokya, and Sarshti. So all those devotees who get liberated from this material world and enter in the spiritual world, they get one of these five kinds of liberation. First is Sayujya. Sayujya means one's identity is merged into the identity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. My identity is merged in the Brahma Jyoti, the effulgence emanating from the Supreme Lord, the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. That is called as Sayujya Mukti. Then comes Sarupya Mukti. Sarupya Mukti means one, when he is elevated to the spiritual world, he gets the same form as that of the Supreme Lord in the spiritual planets. So it is said in the Vaikuntha planets, all the inhabitants of Vaikuntha planets, all the Ananta Koti Vaishnavas in the Vaikuntha planets, they all have four hands. They all wear pitambara. So they all look like Narayana. But Acharyas say that there is one difference. The original Narayana wears the Kaustubha Mani, whereas the others, they do not. But apparently, for appearance, they look as if they themselves are Narayana. That moksha is called as Sarupya moksha, right? So Sayujya, Sarupya, Samipya. Samipya moksha means one gets very close association of Supreme Lord in the spiritual world. Very close association. He will be always around the Supreme Lord. That is called as Samipya. Samipa in Kannada. No? Samipa means very close. Then Salokya. Salokya means one will be elevated to the same planet where the Supreme Lord lives. So because otherwise, because of the other mokshas, one may achieve Sayujya moksha, wherein he becomes merged in the impersonal effulgence of the Supreme Lord, his transcendental effulgence, and then he may lose his identity. That is why there is another category who are like, they will enter the loka or the planet of the Supreme Lord. That is called a Salokya moksha. And last, Sarshti. One gets same opulence as that of Lord Narayana in the world. It's called a Sarshti moksha. But when it comes to pure devotees, a pure devotee does not want any of these kinds of liberation. On his part, he does not demand any of the 5 types of liberation, nor anything for his personal superiority or comfort. But in order to associate with God in the spiritual planets, one must become his pure devotee. So, by any way, if one wants to associate with the Supreme Lord, he must become a pure devotee. Pure devotee means one who is Niramaya, one who has no contamination in the heart, zero contamination, 100% pure. Such a devotee only can associate with the supremely pure Lord Krishna. For those who are not pure devotees, Lord Krishna explains at what times one should leave the body in order to attain liberation. So, for those who are not devotees, for devotees it is all fixed that according to Lord's will, Lord's desire, he will award any of these kinds of liberation to his devotees. But what for those who are not pure devotees? Right? Lord Krishna explains, based on what time they leave the body, they attain certain kind of liberation. Yatra kale tu anavrittim avrittim chaiva yoginah prayata yanti tam kalam vakshami bharatarshabha. O best of the Bharatas, I shall now explain to you the different times at which, passing away from this world, one does or does not come back. In India, unlike in the West, it is common for astrologers to make minute calculations of the astronomical situation at the moment of one's birth. Indeed, a person's horoscope is read not only when he is born, but also when he dies. In order to determine what his situation will be in the next life, all this can be determined by astrological calculation. In this verse, Lord Krishna is accepting those astrological principles, confirming that if one leaves his body at a particular time, he may attain liberation. If one dies at one moment, he may be liberated. Or if he dies at another moment, he may have to return to this material world. It is all a question of chance. But that chance, some way or other, is what one has. For the devotee, however, there is no question of chance. Whatever the astrological situation, the devotee in Krishna consciousness is guaranteed liberation. For others, there are chances that if they leave their body at a particular moment, they may attain liberation and enter the spiritual kingdom, or they may be reborn. Agnir Jyotir Aha Shuklaha Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Vido Janaha. Those who know the Supreme Brahman pass away from the world during the influence of the fiery god in the light at an auspicious moment during the fortnight of the moon and the 6 months when the sun travels in the north. Those who know the Supreme Brahman, they pass away from the world during, these are the few conditions. They pass away during the influence of the fiery god, in the light, at an auspicious moment, during the fortnight of the moon, and during the 6 months when the sun travels in the north. These are the conditions. If one passes away in this condition, those who know the Supreme Brahman pass away from this world during these conditions. As we all know, the sun's movements are different. 6 months it is north of the equator, and 6 months it is south. Correct? We call it as Uttarayana and Dakshinayana. That is why you see Pitamaha Bhishma, right? Bhishma Pitamaha, he had the Ichha Marana boon from his father Shantanu. Right? So he used that boon to choose the time when he wants to leave the body. Right? So approximately around during the December month, the last month, during the last month, Mahabharata war happened, and we have the Gita Jayanti month when Lord spoke Bhagavad Gita, right? So after that, Mahabharata war happened, and then Bhishma was lying on the bed of the arrows, and he waited till, because the war happened when the sun was in the southern direction, right? That is Dakshinayana. But Bhishma Deva waited for Uttarayana, Sankranti. That is the time when sun start moving towards the northern direction. Right? So he waited for that, and then he left his body at an auspicious moment. The sun is also moving according to Vedic calculations, and from Srimad Bhagavatam we are informed that the sun is situated at the center of the universe. Just as all the planets are moving, the sun is also moving at a speed calculated to be 16,000 miles per second. Just as all the planets are moving, the sun is also moving at a speed calculated to be 16,000 miles per second. If a person dies when the sun is in the northern hemisphere, he can attain liberation. That is not only the verdict of Bhagavad Gita, but also of other scriptures. Dhumo ratris tatha Krishnaha Shanmasa Dakshinayanaha Tatra Chandramasam Jyotir Yogi Prapya Nivartate. The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, the moonless fortnight, or in the 6 months when the sun passes to the south, or who reaches the moon planet south, he reaches to the moon planet and he again comes back. No one can say when he is going to die, and in that sense the moment of one's death is accidental. So we do not know when will our last breath come, when we'll have to leave this body. Any moment can be that moment, because we have no idea. We are not at all aware of how much time do we have, how much breaths do we have, how many days do we have in our life. We don't have any idea of it. And in that sense, moment of one's death is accidental. However, for a devotee in Krishna consciousness, there is no question of accident. Shukla Krishne gatihi ete jagataha shashvate mate, as Prabhupada says, right? So these times, during these auspicious times, you pass away, you will get liberation, and some other times when you pass away, inauspicious times, you have to come back again, right? All these calculations does not affect a devotee who has surrendered himself unto, a devotee who is constantly trying to chant Krishna's names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Irrespective of what auspicious or inauspicious moment that devotee leaves his body, irrespective of whether it is day or night, irrespective of whether it is moon full night or moonless night, whether it is Dakshinayana or Uttarayana, auspicious moment or inauspicious moment, irrespective of all these conditions, Krishna personally takes care of that devotee. Krishna personally decides what is going to be that devotee's next life. That is the power of chanting Hare Krishna. That is the power of devotions. So here in this verse, Krishna says, Shukla Krishna, Krishne gatihi ete jagataha shashvate mate ekaya yati anavrittim anyaya vartate punaha. According to the Vedas, there are two ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back. But when one passes in darkness, he returns. The same description of departure and return is quoted by Acharya Baladeva Vidyabhushana from the Chandogya Upanishad in such a way: those who are fruitive laborers and philosophical speculators from the time immemorial are constantly going and coming. Actually, they do not attain ultimate salvation, for they do not surrender to Krishna. Naite sriti partha janan yogi muihati kaschana tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto bhavarjuna. The devotees who know these two paths, O Arjuna, are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto. Be fixed in devotion, bhakti yoga. Herein the Lord confirms that there is no chance for one who practices bhakti yoga. So here one may ask, Krishna is not telling about bhakti yoga. Krishna is saying yoga yukto bhavarjuna. Every moment you should be yogi, because any moment you may pass away. Right? Those devotees who know these two paths, O Arjuna, are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. Krishna says in devotion, but Prabhupada says this is devotion, but Krishna says it is yoga yukto. One should be a yogi. Yogi muihati kaschana yoga yukto bhavarjuna. How do we understand that this is bhakti yoga? Because this verse Krishna is speaking in the 8th chapter. Before this, in the 7th chapter or in the 6th chapter, especially the 6th chapter, last verse, 46th verse, 46 or 47, I forget. So the final verse of the chapter Dhyana Yoga, wherein Krishna elaborately explains about the procedures of Ashtanga Yoga and the different elevations of the yogis. In that, after explaining about different perfections of yoga, Krishna explains yoginam api sarvesham, of all the yogis, because there are different kinds of yogis. Krishna says of all the yogis, madgaten antaratmana, the one who abides in me, the one who follows my path, the one who always keeps me in his heart, the one who always remembers me in the heart of his heart. Yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam. With great transcendental faith, he worships me. Shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yuktatamo mataha. Krishna says, according to my opinion, he is the greatest yogi. Right? That is when we understand, after this chapter, wherever Krishna speaks about yoga, we should immediately think, what is the greatest yoga? Whenever Krishna says a yogi, we should immediately understand, according to Krishna, according to Krishna's opinion, who is the greatest yogi? A bhakti yogi is the greatest yogi. One who always worships Krishna with great faith. One who always remembers the Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That is how here we understand that when Krishna says Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Yoga Yukto Bhavarjuna, Yoga Yukto means one who is completely fixed in devotion. Herein the Lord confirms that there is no chance for one who practices Bhakti Yoga. That there is no chance. Right? There is no question of accident or chance for one who practices Bhakti Yoga. His destination is certain. Whether he dies when the sun is in the northern or southern hemisphere is of no importance. As we have already stated, if one thinks of Krishna at the time of death, he will at once be transferred to Krishna's abode. That Krishna says in this chapter itself, the 8th chapter. Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati sa madbhavam yati nasti atra samshaya. There is no doubt that whoever remembers me while quitting his body, he certainly, definitely attains my. Therefore, Krishna tells Arjuna to always remain in Krishna consciousness. This is possible through the chanting of Hare Krishna. Since Krishna and his spiritual kingdom are non-different, being absolute, Krishna and his sound vibration are the same. Simply by vibrating Krishna's name, we can enjoy Krishna's association. If we are walking down the street chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna is also going with us. If we walk down the street and look up at the sky, we may see that the sun or the moon is accompanying us. I can recall about 50 years ago when I was a householder, my second son, who was about 4 years old at that time, was walking with me down the street, and he suddenly asked me, "Father, why is the moon going with us?" Right? Everyone, all of us have this experience, right? We do not know about the modern generation kids, whether they are allowed to go out in the street and look at the moon, or they are just dumped inside the four walls with a smartphone in their hands to scroll on. During our childhood, we used to go in the fields, play in the fields, and when during the evening, we used to sometimes run, sometimes walk, and sometimes run, and simultaneously look at the moon. When we are running, again, moon is moving with the same speed with us. When we are walking, moon is moving with the same speed with us, right? So, how sun walks with us, moon walks with us. Similarly, when we are chanting the holy names of Krishna, Krishna is personally present with us. If a material object like the moon has the power to accompany us, we can surely understand that the Supreme Lord, who is all-powerful, can always remain with us. Being omnipotent, he can always keep us company, provided that we are also qualified to keep his company. This is most important. If you want Krishna to be with you, you should be first of all qualified for Krishna to be with you. Your devotees are always merged in the thought of Krishna and are always remembering that Krishna is with them. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has confirmed the absolute nature of Krishna in his Shikshashtaka. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatrarpita niyamita smarane na kalaha etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi Durdaiva janina nuragaha. My Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, in your holy name, there is all good fortune for the living entity. And therefore you have many names such as Krishna, Govinda, by which you expand yourself. You have invested all your potencies in those names. Nam Nam Akari Bahudan Nija Sarva Shakti. And there are no hard and fast rules. Tatrarpita Niyamita Smarane Nakalaha. There are no hard and fast rules for remembering them. My dear Lord, Although you bestow such mercy upon the fallen, conditioned souls by liberally teaching your holy names, I am so unfortunate that I commit offenses while chanting the holy name, and therefore I do not achieve attachment for chanting. Etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi durdaivam idrisham ihajani nanuragaha na anuragaha. I don't have any attachment for your holy names. We may take the effort to spend a great deal of money and attempt to build or establish a temple for Krishna. But if we do so, we must observe many rules and regulations and see properly to the temple's management. But herein it is confirmed that simply by chanting, any man can have the benefit of keeping company with Krishna, just as Arjuna is deriving benefit by being in the same chariot with Lord Shri Krishna. We can also benefit by associating with Krishna through the chanting of his holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This Mahamantra is not my personal concoction, but is authorized by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is considered to be not only an authority but the incarnation of Lord Shri Krishna himself. It was Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who said, "O Lord, you are so kind to the people of this material world that you expand yourself in your holy name so that they can associate with you." Although the Mahamantra is in the Sanskrit language and many people do not know its meaning, it is still so attractive that people participate when it is chanted publicly. When chanted the Mahamantra, when chanting the Mahamantra, we are completely safe, even in this most dangerous position. We should always be aware that in this material world, we are always in a dangerous position. Srimad Bhagavatam confirms, Padam Padam Yad Vipadam Natesham. In this world, there is danger at every step. The devotees of the Lord, however, are not meant to remain in this miserable, dangerous place. Therefore, we should take care to advance in Krishna consciousness while in this human form. Then our happiness is assured. Thus ends the reading of the book The Path of Perfection by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So here we end, and thank you all for participating in these reading sessions. To those who missed some of the sessions, you can go through those sessions in YouTube. The links are shared in the same groups where you receive these class links. YouTube links are also shared of these recorded classes. You can go through these sessions and again and again and contemplate on the knowledge given by Srila Prabhupada in these books. Right? So, hoping to see you all again with another book in the near future. Till then, thank you all. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Vishwa Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.